Is the American dream still alive? And that dream would be to own your own home. It's that simple. You know, on one hand, you have home prices that are rising. On the other hand, you have higher interest rates. And we have a third issue. Wall Street investors are coming into neighborhoods and they are buying up properties all over the country, taking away some supply. So in today's video, I'm going to discuss all those issues and see if we can answer the question, is the American dream still alive? Let's get after it right now. If this is your first time to my channel or you're a repeat viewer, welcome to the Living in Utah channel, where we talk everything about the state of Utah, eating, sleeping, drinking, playing. If you'd like to find out a little bit more, you may consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell notification. YouTube will send you an alert every time I release a new video, and that's every week. Apart from making videos, I also help people buy or sell real estate. So if I could be of any assistance, my contact information will be on the screen. It'll also be down in the show notes. I've obtained some of the most recent articles about the affordability problem and also the American dream. So let's cover those articles in this video. After all, it's no secret, home prices have remained high, mostly due to the lack of supply in the market. Basically, not enough homes on the market for the people who want to purchase homes. So it boils down to there's not enough affordable homes on the market. There are many people that are pre-qualified for a loan. They just can't find anything in their price range. Why is that? Well, they're not building enough homes, especially entry-level homes. So I have a recent article about the construction industry. First article I have is from the U.S. Census Bureau. Housing starts. The amount of new homes that are being started during the month of January of 2024 dropped 14.8% month over month, the lowest since August of 2023. We have to build so many homes just to keep up with the population growth. In my area, the West Coast, we are down 15.7%. Way too low. We are above the national average when it comes to new construction, homes being started. So as I just said, we have to build so many homes just to keep up. Do you remember the crash in 2008, 2009, 2010, that particular time frame? Many builders went out of business, no longer in business. New homes just dropped way off. There was not the builders to build them and the individuals to move into these new builds when existing homes were dropping in value in some parts of the country, not all around the entire country. And then we had COVID. Do you remember COVID just a few years ago? Well, the new home construction went down again, especially when COVID first hit. It was a total drop-off. Then when the builders started to get going again, we had a supply chain problem. Wood, sheetrock, roofing materials, paint materials. It seemed as if every single month something was out of stock. It took longer to build homes. I personally know of a couple homes where the build time doubled in length. So during these two time periods, we dropped off when it comes to new home builds. We need to get those numbers back up. This is hurting the supply chain. And I have one more example for you. There's a development that's probably about 10 miles from my home. The builder, the developers have been trying to get city approval for a couple years now. They put a nice plan together. They even met with the Utah Department of Transportation, got approval on the roads, went to the city council meetings. City council members and some residents in the neighborhood wanted an additional road or two coming out of the development. The builder just could not do it. In one area, they have a school. They would literally have to buy a part of the school to put this extra road in. And this development has been approved by the Utah Department of Transportation. They are all good with the plan. Well, the developer cannot get approval. So it is tied up in the court system right as I speak. And that development is probably 2 or 3 years in the making. They may not even build that or finish that development for maybe another 5 years. Some of the issues that are currently going on. And I think some of it boils down to social media. We have a lot of groups. And when someone finds out about a new development going into their particular city, it's the old adage of, you can build new homes, but not in my backyard. And there is a little ground roots going on, and people are objecting to some of these developments, which is delaying new construction builds. Let's talk about institutional investors, what I call Wall Street money. Heck, even Amazon is out there buying homes in some neighborhoods. I've got an article, and the article is titled, Investors Bought a Record Share of Low-Priced Housing in the Fourth Quarter. So these big funds, multi-million-dollar funds, they're going around the country purchasing homes too. Rent them out, taking more supply from the market. And if you're looking for an entry-level home, it makes the competition even tougher. Well, investors bought a record high 26.1% of the low-priced U.S. homes in the fourth quarter. So 1 in 4 homes in the lower-priced region or lower-priced segment of the housing market was sold to investors. And typically those homes will not hit the market for investors to purchase. They will be available to rent. I actually live right around the corner to a rent-to-own neighborhood. An investor came in, built all these townhomes. None of them are for sale. They're all for rent. I see that time and time again. Complete neighborhoods being built just to rent. And that's all this big Wall Street money, investor money being put to work. And you're probably wondering, why would a seller want to sell to these Wall Street investors? It's a good question. Many sellers that I work with, at first, they are not too keen on selling to the big Wall Street investors. They would rather have someone move into their home, take care of it, and own it themselves. Maybe help a young couple starting out. But these are some of the advantages when you sell to the Wall Street. Money, cash. Most of the time they are paying straight cash, no financing, if that's not good enough. A lot of times they have a 7-day close. They can close on your home in 7 days, where in Utah the typical closing process takes about 30 days. Well, if that's not to your liking, they can also come in and rent the home back to you for $0. Yes, I've seen it many, many times. They will close within 7 days, pay you your cash, you have the money in your bank account, and then they will let you remain in the home for X number of days, which works out really great for individuals, especially individuals who are moving to, like, say, a new job, or people in the military. The money is in the bank, they feel that financial security, and they can stay in the home until their negotiated date, and then get in their vehicle and drive to their new destination. Another advantage, a lot of times the Wall Street firms offer no inspections. They do not bring an inspector through. So the seller doesn't have to worry about possibly doing any repairs to the home. And no appraisal. They say they're going to pay X amount of dollars. A lot of times that is with no appraisal attached to it. So for a seller, the offer can be very, very tempting. You may have the question, why are they buying up the lower priced homes? Well, let's say you had a $2 million home for sale. These companies want to purchase the home and rent the home out. So payments on a $2 million home is probably about $14,000 a month. Now, I know this Wall Street money, they're paying cash, but they also want a return on their money. So let's just say they need $14,000 per month return on their money, on their investment. It's difficult to rent out a home for $14,000, $15,000, $16,000 a month. There are very few individuals in the state of Utah, where I'm at, that can afford that amount of money just for rent. So what's going to happen down the road with this supply problem that we have across the country? It may not get much better. Many Americans have a 3% loan. Probably a vast majority of the loans out there have been refinanced or purchased at maybe, say, the 3% mark. It's very common for people to upgrade their home, or maybe they go into the retirement years and they want to sell and buy a patio home, or maybe just downsize. But my question is, how many of those individuals will be willing to give up their 3% loan? My guess, not many. So this may lead to less inventory. Now, if the home is paid off, that's a different story. They will still upgrade their home, or maybe downsize, or maybe move into a patio home because the decision is a little bit easier. But if you have one of those 3% loans, it's going to be a very tough decision to purchase another home, or maybe just stay in your existing home. Earlier, I talked about the new home construction numbers. I've got a graph for you. Let's go over this graph. Breaks down during certain year periods how many homes were built. So when we look at the graph, 1990 to 1999, we built about 12.49 million homes. 2000, 2009, we jumped up to 14.56 homes being built. Great numbers. But in 2010 to 2019, just after the crash, we dropped down to 6.9 million homes. That's more than half. So we really need to build, I don't know, maybe 14 million homes a year just to keep up. Plus the deficit we already have of another, say, 6 to 7 million. So really, we need to build about 20 million homes per year. I have one more article about corporations purchasing homes. This article comes from Atlanta, where the article starts out by saying 3 corporations own 19,000 Atlanta homes. 19,000 homes. That is just with 3 corporations. There are many corporations around the Atlanta area that own homes. But this was a recent study done by Georgia State University, and they found that these 3 corporations own 19,000 homes. The companies Invitation Homes, Progress Residential, and Main Street Renewal own around 11% of all single-family homes for rent in the state. 11% of the homes. And in smaller neighborhoods, sometimes they own upwards of 50%. If this is happening around the country, corporate America is slowly taking over the home industry. So my question is the American dream still alive? Well, I believe the American dream is still alive, and I do think there is hope going, down the road. There are some bills in Congress and Senate that wants to curtail some of these corporations from buying up the lower priced homes. Right now, the bills aren't making much headway, but at some point, if we want to save the American dream, I think something will have to be done. As we wrap everything up, that is the video for this week. If you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me. Glad to answer any questions that I can. Until the next video, take care and stay safe. And I hope the American dream is still alive.